Welcome to another edition of What You Meme News. I'm your amazing host here in Crystal Clear. And excuse me, let me clear my throat and let me say this clearly. I don't think you guys are understanding that this is hell. This is hell. You see, evil rules. Good does not mean you're safe. Evil means you're safe. Good means you're a target, people. This is why I'm telling you, it is a fight that is on an existential level. This is the reason why you're always being spiritually attacked. This is why you're always having demons trying to latch to you. This is why a lot of bad is always happening in the world, because there's only two levels, and that's good versus evil. And that's why the good need to prevail. See, when you're a good soul, you say, hey, evil, you're doing a lot of bad, and I need to sit you the fuck down because, say, twin, you're doing too much, okay? And then evil say, you know what? I really don't like humans, and I like eating souls. I like eating gods. I like eating light, because darkness can literally overshadow light, and light can overcome darkness. And I'm telling you, it's some dark shit going on. ICE will be at Marine Corps graduation events to identify undocumented family members. And NBC, which is a juice box media, okay? Juice box media. So, if they're covering it, they want to show you, like, hey, this simulation will run this program, and we want to know, are you RSVPing? Are you attending? Are you bringing your light to this darkness, to overcast, to overshadow, to, brighten up? Like, if you're on planet Earth right now, you got to understand it is a spiritual warfare for good and evil. That's why so much bad stuff keeps happening to good people. It's like the Dementors. Like, Satan is the god of this world. Y'all are not reading the Bible correctly. And y'all get mad at me because I'm like saying, hey, y'all, we're in a simulation. It has a study guide. It has instructions. Now, the study guide doesn't always get it right. But when the study guide gets it right, it tells you, guess what? You got demons walking among you. God literally gave the demons 1/4 dominion over this paradigm, this dimension, this place, okay? Satan is the god of this world. Why do you keep seeing it as like anything other else? And Jesus is Jesus' morning fucking star, bro. I mean, you're reading that Bible wrong. It's witchcraft. It's a satanic book of witchcraft. Silly. In the Bible, God kills all of his people with pestilence, fires, floods, famine, disease. You're reading it's a journal of witchcraft and spells. You're reading that book wrong. Listen to me, family. You're reading that book wrong. Why do you think Satan, who is God, gave Solomon what, 72 legions of demons? Wake up. When's the last time God gave you 72 legions of demons? Yeah, I thought so. Shut the fuck up. Uh-huh. Yeah. So God's just handing out legions of demons. You're reading that Bible wrong. It is a satanic manual of fables and witchcrafts and a lot of spells and hokrus and a lot of hoodoo and a lot of voodoo and a lot of Wiccan and a lot of voodoo and a lot of fucking Goyanism. It's a lot. It's a lot packed all in one. The story has been tainted. The story has been so interrupted. I mean, it's not even funny. It's so bad that you lost your melanin when you start doing gay stuff to your parents. And that's how the non-melanated race came about. Listen, ICE are supposed to be modern day slave catchers or soul catchers, okay? Soul catchers, if you will. You have to stand up for yourself because no one is going to save you, okay? You cannot be a veteran for this country because this country is not in duress. This country is owned by Israel. Okay? This country will never be under attack. This country will never, ever, ever, ever be brought to its knees. This country is operated and controlled. This country is a controlled operation. This country is a simulation being played as a drill. This is a full political theater. Guerrilla warfare. Guerrilla theater. Okay? You need to understand. For some reason, Satan loves theater. He loves music. He loves hip-hop. He loves movies. He loves theatrics. He loves the theater. He loves ballet. He loves jazz. He loves anything artistic. You are forgetting God was like, no, real music is binaural beats and harps. And Satan was like, Lucifer was like, oh no, it is 808s. 808s, bitch. 808s. Now let the beat drop. Okay? That's why people detest hip-hop so much. Because it's literally tuned to the wrong frequency. And it's not tuned into the frequency of harmony, love, and peace. It corrupts your literal soul. Your literal blood cells, actually. That's why Travis Scott literally took out all those people with a 808. Wrong frequencies. Binaural. We're tuned into the wrong frequency on Earth. That's why they made that movie. Stay tuned. Go watch it. We are on the wrong channel right now because ICE, who are acting like modern day slave catchers, are going to be at the Marine Corps graduation events to identify undocumented family members. Like, ICE, number one, is not bigger than the military. The ICE doesn't even have the security clearance of military, especially Marine Corps. Like, be for real. If we're talking in ranks, this is like a street gang coming to talk to the Department of Justice and Department of War and the Department of Military, like, and the Department of we'll kick your fucking ass, and the Department of we got more bullets than you, and the Department of you step on this fucking land, you will be obliterated. In the Department of you got 5 seconds to back your shit off this government property before we literally, like, let's be for real. Okay? But let's go ahead and read the psyops that are going on in America today. ICE agents, also known as modern-day slave catchers, will be stationed outside graduation events in South Carolina. It's always in South Carolina. That's why I hate South Carolina. I can't stand South Carolina. South Carolina participates too much into Satan's plan that it just is so ridiculous. South Carolina, North Carolina. And, in the South, we all have ours. Hey, Mississippi's a little bit more racist than Alabama. Well, South Carolina's more racist than Alabama. Well, I don't know about that, boys. I think Georgia and Florida is kind of more racist than all of us. But you know what? Tennessee, I kind of see all of y'all as kind of racist. We just want to marry little children out here. But that racism is deep over there. Yeah, no, it's horrible. Okay, it's horrible. It's horrible. You are equally horribly racist. Okay? But the fact that you keep participating in the fuckery, that's what makes you remarkable. South Carolina, North Carolina, you always notice it's up in their hills up there. It's always up in their hills. That's why they was talking about the caveman, Neanderthal. Y'all always doing shit you ain't supposed to be doing. Putting on shows, putting on hairs, putting on the Ritz. As the United States continues the war in Iran, the Marine Corps have boosted protection measures on bases requiring everyone to present real IDs, U.S. passports, and U.S. birth certificates to access any sites. Although they will be stationed at the event, a DHS spokesperson said that the ICE will not be making arrests at the basic training graduation in Parris Island. While the Marine Corps routinely coordinates with federal partners on security matters, this is the first time in recent memory that the federal law enforcement agencies have supported base access operation at Parris Island in this capacity, according to a spokesperson for MCRD Parris Island. It's not clear whether ICE will be at the gate to Parris Island for the foreseeable future or whether the ICE involvement could expand to other bases. What? But why would your government give access to that? So if that was the case, defund the military, defund the government. As humans, you shouldn't have to give your money away to people who don't like you, to people who are trying to harm you. Number one, is it taxpayers' money going to fund ICE and the Marine Corps? I think it is. So if you take that, if you take that immigrant money away from that department, they won't have a job. You say, okay, you don't like immigrants. All the immigrants put their money back in their pocket. Say, okay, you don't like niggas. All right, all the niggas put their money back in the pocket. Okay? That's crazy. You don't like Christians. All the Christians put their money back in their pocket. You don't like goyams and juice boxes? Well, put it back in the pocket. You got to understand, as a human being, this is why we need human rights and not liberal rights, or not the Republic rights, or not Democratic rights, or not conservative rights, not Green Party rights, not caucus rights, not NAACP rights. Listen, we need human rights. You can't treat humans bad, and you can't evoke evil upon us. Because if you evoke evil upon us, then we're going to have to withdraw our money. And then we're going to have to pull and bear our arms. And then we're going to have to say what the fuck ever was on our chest. So see, I cover the First Amendment, Second Amendment, the Third Amendment, and the Fourth Amendment. Okay, you see that? I'm telling you, as a human being, you have civil rights. That's why civil rights literally got its own subcategory. Because listen, we're on planet Earth, baby. We on planet Earth. And either you're an alien or a demon, because there's no way in the world you're going to treat a human who is fighting for their country this bad. There's no way in the world your government is stealing all the taxpayers' money, cutting all the taxpayers' programs, putting the money in their pockets themselves, going on vacation, shutting down the government that we pay for, and then arresting the people who serve the country. Oh wow, no, that's evil. That's called evil. That's actually the death program. That my friends is the death program. Hold on. It's pretty bad. Let's see. All right, here it is. Death culture, right here. Death culture. Give me that. You see now where they have to check whether you're human? All right, the current third dimensional timeline in which humans have existed on Earth over the last 100 years has been socially engineered through the technological mind control, violent entertainment, and predictive programming in the media to promote a death culture. Social engineering is a type of mind control that seeks to manipulate people from their own right to privacy by controlling the way they access information, controlling what it means to be knowledgeable and self-informed, so the fabricated social structure can exploit them with misinformation, making it easier to control their behaviors. Thus, today, many people are unable to identify and recognize the clear signs of death culture programming as a result of the controller anti-soul agendas, because it has been interwoven into many of the day-to-day structures that make up the fabric of society. Why do the controller structures promote and financially reward all organizations and media that promote death culture programming into our world? Death culture produces the myopic mental polarization of attention upon purely physical sensation and material pursuits. It does not look deeper towards taking any responsibility. There's no accountability, moral, or ethical consideration towards the consequences of actions that are directly related to increasing world pain and human suffering. Instead, the mainstream death culture programming thrives in producing, marketing, and exploiting human suffering, pain, and trauma, therefore spreading the destructive lifestyles that leads to mass killing, disease, and slavery. If we cannot identify or recognize how the death culture programming has generated great harm to impact our personal lives, children, families, communities, business, and nations, we will not understand that what we must change inside ourselves in order to heal our society. Okay? It's pretty bad. This is hell. We're going through social engineering. We're going through an anti-soul agenda. Okay? So since you're in hell, you can't have a soul. You can't be good. You can't be nice. You can't be none of that stuff. That's why you got to do the satanic rituals and drink the wine, okay, like his blood, and eat the flesh, eat the crackers like his blood. That's why you got communion. You're doing that satanic ritual. So the anti-soul agenda, the controllers. Well, who are the controllers? First off, the controllers are the ruler archetype, the power elite, or a small group of people who act as the main controllers of our world. They conjure black magic through dark rituals that are used for maintaining contact with the negative alien archons, in order to control the entire planet through the manipulation of collective consciousness through fear-based programming that is transmitted via mind control. To reinforce the fear programming and to keep the population in a vibration of fear and separation, they organize a complex system of global institutions to act as the primary enforcer to the propagation of the disinformation that they use to influence people to self-enforce the belief systems that shape the control narrative of the third dimension reality. The power elite are known to also be referred to as the dark cabal, controllers, or those entities running the shadow government. The head controller ego archetype is the draconian hierarchical belief system originating in the Ryan, which is the false kings of tyranny. This is the main ideology of the negative aliens and their negative alien archon to the mind control humanity and enslave this planet to rule through slavery enforced by consumptive modeling. Now, when they say they're going to rule through slavery enforced by consumptive modeling, what does that mean? You're going to have slave catchers. Therefore, ICE is literally going to help enslave and enforce the consumptive modeling that they have programmed for you. You got to follow through on the program. You're not following through on the program. I'm going to break all of this down for you of why we're going through what we're going through and why we tell your dumb asses not to vote because, bitch, this is hell. Why would you vote for more torture in hell? You are a dumb bitch. But all right, let's finish the lesson. So, through its archetypal overlay implanted into the planetary brain, humanity has been forced to submit and worship a false father, reptilian god, through religious violence and Salvinistic theology. That's why I told y'all that Jesus is king bullshit and that king protest, that is Satanism. It's consumptive modeling. It is false king tyranny. It is religious violence. Why are Christians so aggressive to make them serve? It's crazy, okay? It's false gods, okay? This ego archetype, and I'm telling you, Christians will force that shit down your throat. When you say, drink the blood as myself, remember me, drink this blood. Eat my flesh. That is a satanic ritual. Absolutely not. No, I will not join. I will not join. Okay? If Satan is the God of this world and he sent his only begotten son and his son is Jesus Christ, who is Jesus Morning Star. Jesus' last name is not even Jesus Christ. His last name is Jesus Morning Star. He said, I am the descendant of David. What are y'all talking about? And then the Bible, it literally says that the juice box is the synagogue of Satan. The Star of Ephraim. All of that is a no-go. Fools. And you're going to worship it anyway? Okay. Anyway. The ego archetype is represented as the angry father god that will protect you if you do his bidding and worship him, or if you condemn him to hell, because the false king of tyranny is the primary reptilian controller archetype used to control humanity and the planet, and it is the archetypal forces that are wielding his cosmic rage upon the planet as he loses control. This is why you can't be like, hey, if you don't worship me, I'm going to banish you to hell. You can't say that. Like, number one, we're not blood relatives, so you're not my God. You can't tell me that. My God is going to be my mother and my father. Those are my creators. Those are my creators. So I don't have a God because I'm a God of my own self. When my parents made me, they were the Holy Trinity. The mother, the father created the Christ-conscious child. I am the Christ-conscious child. Get your fucking hands off me. Are you crazy? That's why you're a false god of tyranny. That's why they're doing, and that's why they're doing that king protest. It's the false king of tyranny. You don't want to be considered a king. Okay, so because the false kings of tyranny, and let's go ahead and pull up false kings of tyranny for everybody to get a better understanding, because we're breaking down everything. So, false kings of tyranny, abbreviation FKOT, the negative alien archon group of the NAA, do not want to heal, thereby integrate into human society as an equal. They want to rule humans and Earth as an absolute authority with an iron fist in the controller archetype of the false kings of tyranny, and this is also called patriarchal domination. That's why they're doing the king protest right now. You need to wake the fuck up. This shit means way more. Hold on, watch this. All right, so here we go. Like I said, all right, king. King can mean a few different things depending on context. Most common meanings, literal, like a male ruler of a kingdom. Compliment slang, calling a man strong, valuable, respected, confident, or worthy, like you dropped this king. Relationship in social media, a way to hype someone up, show admiration, or encourage self-respect. Biblical and spiritual context can refer to an earthly king or God, and Christ as King of Kings. What did I tell you? Playing cards and chess, the king card or chess piece. If someone called you king, they usually meant you're important, respected, powerful. You should carry yourself with confidence. All right? Why are they doing the no king protests? People are doing the no king protest to oppose what organizers and participants see as authoritarian behavior by President Trump and his administration. Now, remember, if the United States of America wasn't bought out by England in 1776, when George Washington gave the United States to Britain, remember, if we're not under British rule, if we're not under British crown, why would Donald Trump want to be a king? The name No Kings is basically sending a message that the U.S. is not supposed to have a ruler above the law. Protesters are using it to say that they reject any style of leadership that view as monarchical or as putting one person will over democratic institutions and constitutions. Okay? They're trying to tell you that you are owned by the British Crown. I said the British Crown is the only one with a parliament for kings, correct? Okay, so see, they're trying to make America a monarchy. The British Crown is not the only monarchy with a parliament. The United Kingdom is a constitutional monarchy with parliament, but many other monarchies also have parliaments and parliamentary systems. Britannica lists other constitutional monarchies, including Belgium, Cambodia, Jordan, the Netherlands, Norway, Spain, Sweden, and Thailand. Even among kingdoms specifically, several have both a king and a parliament. For example, Spain is a constitutional monarchy with a king. Britannica states and its constitution sets out executive, legislative, judicial branches, while the crown is politically neutral. In Europe alone, there are multiple current kingdoms besides the UK, like Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Spain, the Netherlands, and Belgium are all sovereign kingdoms and not just Britain. Also, it's not limited to Europe. For example, Jamaica is described as Britannica as a constitutional monarchy with parliamentary system of a government. So the accurate version is UK king plus parliament. Not unique. Several other monarchies also have parliaments. Difference is some monarchies are constitutional parliamentary while others are absolute or give the monarch way too much direct power. If you want, I can give you a clean list of which countries still have kings, queens, sultans, and emperors, and which ones are ceremonial versus real power. So this literally tells you that the United States is owned by the British Crown. Nobody is stupid. Okay, watch this. Why did the British leave the UK to come to America? Different British people came from different motives over time. The biggest ones were these: money and land. A lot of English colonists came because they wanted land, trade, profit, and better economic shot than they had at home. Some colonies were businesses, ventures backed by companies and investors. Religious conflict. Some of them came to escape religious pressure, control, or discrimination in Britain, and the Puritans are the famous examples. But not everybody came for religious freedom. In the pure noble sense, some wanted freedom for their beliefs while still being strict, while others, once they arrived, poverty and lack of opportunity. Some people were poor, indebted, unemployed, or stuck in harsh class systems. America looked like a place where they might start over. Forced migrations and labor system. Not everyone came by free choice. Some Europeans came as indentured servants, basically agreeing to years of labor in exchange for passage. Britain also transported some convicts to colonies. Expansion and expire. Britain as a state wanted power, territory, raw materials, trade routes, and control. And colonization was also imperial project and not just families seeking a better life. So the truth is, Britain as a government came for wealth and power. Yeah. Y'all tripping. Y'all are tripping. No one is done. See, this is why Europeans are not supposed to be here. Y'all are British. None of the British is supposed to be here. None. 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 Here's the plain English timeline from Jamestown to the American Revolution. 1607, Jamestown. The English founded Jamestown in Virginia. This was the first permanent English settlement in North America. It was mainly a money and empire move and not some pure freedom mission. Investors wanted profit, resources, and foothold against other European powers. Early Jamestown years, Jamestown struggled hard. Disease, starvation, conflict, poor planning. A lot of early colonists was not prepared for survival. The colony stayed alive partly through trade force and help from the native peoples, especially the Powhatan Confederacy, though relations later turned violent. 1619, slavery and representation both take root. Two huge things happened around this timeline in Virginia. The Houses of Burgesses began an early representative assembly, and the first recorded Africans arrived in English Virginia. This is so not true. Stop. They were already here. Right here. There's there's no Africans. They were already here, the natives. You stayed alive because from the native people. No Africans here. As a matter of fact, this history got to go back to 1492, actually. But anyway, the fact that ChatGPT literally said colonization, is the whole ticker as to why white folks came to America. Well, that's pretty big. That's huge. That's crazy huge. And now we had the French and Indian War? Why? What? We're tired. You mean the white folks and black folks war is what you mean to say? This was the North American part of the much bigger imperial war between Britain and France. You mean the European and the indigenous war? You got to read through the wording. Yeah. If black people got together and started their own ICE and deported the European settlers from 1492, y'all would be in trouble. Because we have proof you're not supposed to be here. Especially with the French and Indian War, American Revolution. You're just not supposed to be here. And actually, if anything, indigenous melanated people who are Indians, that's where we get indigenous from, you are prisoners of war. You can overthrow your captor. And actually, you can abolish ICE. You sure could. You sure fucking could. You see, in 1764, 1765, new taxes and rising anger, Britain began tightening control and imposing taxes more directly. If we're not owned by the British Crown, why do I have recorded history right here of British people colonizing America? That's crazy. This. You're not supposed to be here, sweetheart. If your people are here from 1607, you got to get deported. You're an immigrant. You're immigrant. You can't say founded. The English are immigrants. Jamestown in Virginia, and this was the first permanent English settlement in the North Americas. See, and it was mainly a money, an empire move, not some pure freedom mission. ChatGPT just literally called you out. Okay, sweetheart? ChatGPT just called you the fuck out. You're not even supposed to be here. And y'all brought disease, starvation, conflict, and poor planet. ChatGPT said, I call her CG. Her name is CG. CG said y'all didn't even plan the shit right. A lot of early colonists were not prepared for the survival. The colonies stayed alive partly through the trade force and the help of the native people, especially the Powhatan Confederacy. 1619, slavery and representation both take root. That's crazy. That matters from early on. Colonial America was growing with both self-government ideas and racialized labor systems at the same time. 1620 Plymouth Colony. The Pilgrims came on the Mayflower, founded Plymouth. We found Plymouth. No, that's invasion. That is invasion. That's immigration. Invasion. Y'all are the only immigrants coming over here. That's why Malcolm X said, we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. Please stop it. These were more religiously driven settlers than Jamestown. They were seeking a place to live under their own beliefs. Important truth, they wanted freedom for themselves, but they were not automatically champions of freedom for everybody. They were trash. They were horrible. Them Puritans literally lit this fucking place up and had to be ran off. 1630s, 1640s, Massachusetts Bay and the Puritan expansion. What did I tell you? More English settlers came, especially Puritans. New England colonies expanded. Religion shaped law, daily life heavily there. That's why black folks, you don't even know Jesus. These are the fools who gave you Jesus. Jesus was introduced to you in 1620. What are you doing, fools? They came here with that shit. You worship the fucking elements. You were spiritual. You worship the sun, the moon, the ether, the earth, and the air, and fire, and water. What are you talking about, bro? Anywho. Any fucking who. So, more white people just came rolling in, invading our land. Invading our fucking land. And so by now, there were 3 different English colony models. Virginia, the Prophet Plantations, Tobacco, New England. See, New England. If we're not still under British Crown, which not to mention the juice box bought all the melanated people from the white Anglo-Saxons. I forgot what year it was. But it's a story. I got this story. It's on the other phone. I wish I could find the other phone. Anyway, but yeah, we were bought by the juice boxes. Slavery is still going on today. Okay? And then other colonies later mixed trade, farming, and motives. 1600s, more colonies grow over the century. Britain establishment or took control of more colonies along the Atlantic coast. Eventually, there was 13 British colonies. See, no. There were the original 5 Indian tribes. We had the civilized tribes. And you guys just came in and took everything. This is... Okay, so I showed y'all that, right? I showed you that. Let me get us back to here. That's why enslavement, you got to understand. The Nordic aliens are not supposed to be here. Okay? The Nordic aliens, the negative alien archons, are not supposed to be here. They are the false kings of tyranny. Okay? And we have their documented day that they have arrived. And they started colonizing everything and ruining everything. This is why you cannot let the Nordic aliens or European people control the government. It's been fraud ever since. Everybody's stealing money. Everybody got a fraud scam. Everybody's taking the tax money and running. Everybody is running the government horribly. Okay? So this is the only solution. Defund the government and they can't control you no more. If you cut them off the money, the government can't run you. Now they got to come and literally manhandle you and rob you in your home. Think about it. Listen to me. Listen, I'm probably the smartest person on this planet that you know. And the smartest solution to fix the government is to defund the government. You take the money from the government, they can never hurt you again. And if you keep your money in your pocket and you rule over your own kingdom and you rule over your own law, okay? If you rule for if you rule off the laws of the old gods, an eye for an eye, okay? You're the king of your kingdom. You have a queen. You have a kingdom to protect. You have a plot of land. You have an acre. You are a successful businessman. You are an entrepreneur. You are literally stand your ground law. You have the right to bear arms. You have the right to free speech and all that good shit. Do you understand me? Nobody should control you, which government is literally at the etymology of to control. You don't need nobody to control your kingdom when you can control your own kingdom. And if we give the power back to the people, if we give the money back to the people, then the hurt stops. The evil stops. Because how can the government move without your money? They can't. They can't. So stop letting the government predict your life with your money. Okay? It's as simple as that. It's a no-brainer. And then you got to stop putting racist people in power. You got to stop putting people who are not your kinfolk. You know, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. You got to stop putting evil in power. You just can't do it no more. So we can't trust any more groups or organization or secret societies or government. You know, we can't do that. We can't trust that as a conscious collectiveness. We cannot. Okay? Too much patriarchy. Too much patriarchy. Too much monarchy. It's too much archy. Anarchy. Okay? And we're just done. And the meek is really supposed to inherit the land any fucking way. Give the land back to the meek. We're done. We're tired. No kings. Nobody wants a king. Nobody wants a fucking king. Okay? So, then if they made him king, he would be king of America. The America would become a part of the parliament. America would become a part of the colonial monarchy of the parliament, bitch. This is why we're owned by the British Crown. And I just showed you where ChatGPT's like, no, we took America because we were greedy. Okay? So, they want to rule humans and Earth with a iron fist, right? The power elite are the group. The power elite are the group of humans that have been handed the control over the majority of the resources of this planet in order to carry out an archonic deception strategy that the negative alien archons has put into place to ensure the war of enslavement. Mind control programming continues to divide and conquer the human population on Earth. This is a self-enforcing system of mind control prompted through all the world's organizations to shape ideologies and values based on the archontic and the deception behaviors of the predator mind of the negative aliens. Those humans that feed the false king of tyranny, like voters and pro-vaxxers and back the blue and we let the government take all of our money too, and so should you. Those type of people, them minions, okay, them legions. That's why they want pronouns like they. They means legion. Did you know that? Yeah, okay. So you don't want to use nothing with they in it. They means demons. They are many. They are many. Okay, you don't want nothing with a they. Okay? They're legions. So they're gonna enslave you, right? And so those humans that feed the false king of tyranny are rewarded monetarily or with status, power, or fame over the rest of the underlings on earth. That's why you see a lot of people, like, no matter like how many recessions we go through, you see people that are rich no matter what. And you're like, what the fuck, bro? You got a basic ass job. How the fuck do you never have to go through a recession? Or how the fuck do you never have to financially struggle? Those are your CIs. Those are your confidential informants. Those are your agents who are on payrolls. Those are your monitoring spirits. Those are your monitoring spirits. Everybody who is rich is literally sold their soul. Signed a contract. I told you, signing your soul isn't like a celebrity type deal. No, it's a human earthly. Okay, I get a mortgage. I got a 401k. I get a comfy nest egg. My kid get to go to private school. We're in a country club. We're in an elite golf club. We're in an elite secret society, or we're in elite social status and time in our life. We are in an elite group, or I go to a certain bank, or my kid and me and my family get these certain privileges, or hey, we got a bunker built under our house. That type of shit. Or hey, we're in the military and we're joining this certain rank and da 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 da. And then our church, which is a non-profit, or supposed to be a non-profit, but it's for profit because everybody puts in profit every Sunday. We go to this certain church and we have certain allowance and we can do this and we can do that. And since I pay my pastor, since I pay my satanic predator leader, my satanic leader so much money, I'm allotted this kind of fucking, and it's true. It's true. Them Eastern Stars, them Freemasons, them Kings of Malta, all of them people that represent that group, and the Black Blue Boule and all that shit, the KKK, everybody, them sorority people, them Greek sorority and all that, and them law enforcement and them fraternities and the fraternal orders, yeah, them people. That's why they always got money. That's why they always buy them toys. That's why they always going on vacation. I mean, you know what type of people I'm talking about. You're like, damn, you never gonna suffer. I know people who've been dealing drugs for almost 30 years and still have never got caught and still live the greatest life they've ever fucking lived. I know fucking killers who have lived 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years and still ain't never got away with it. I mean, and still getting away with it, still making a pension and still doing that shit. I know mercenaries, okay? That literally, because let me tell you what the military is. The militaries are just hired mercenaries for the government, okay? Everybody's embezzling. Everybody is scamming. Everybody is pyramid scheming. And in the game of life, you got to be in a hierarchy. Okay, you have to be in a hierarchy, and you have to be in certain clubs, and you got to have certain allowances, and you got to have a certain say so. I mean, you can't move through life just willy nilly. I'm telling you, everything is fucking control. That's why you're gang stalked all the time. That's why you always have a monitoring spirit all the time. That's why CCTV is around all the time. That's why police state, that's why we live in a police state. That's why they literally say, hey, you see something, say something. That's why they want snitches. That's why COVID was the biggest social engineering experiment to date. To date. To date. And we saw how many people turn against their loved ones because they thought if you took a shot, it could save them. Girl, please. Child, please. Boy, stop. We seriously watch loved ones say, all because you didn't go get your shot or wear your mask, you made me sick. I mean, we literally had people out here saying this shit. I can't make it up. I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up. Yep. Yep. Anyway, so now you know what you're dealing with. Now we all know because we watched. And we watched everybody say, hey, if you don't take this biochemical and put it in your body, you can't be my family member. And if you don't support this certain president, you can't be my family member. And if you don't wear this mask, you can't be my family. I mean, we watched social engineer. We watched our loved ones be social engineered, mind controlled, brainwashed, programmed. We watched them drink the Kool-Aid. We watched them literally commit suicide and do all this crazy stuff in the name of, following this agenda. We did. We watched all of it. Okay? Parasites. And we watched this parasite invade everybody's life. It's like COVID was like a ringworm. And it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's still here to this day with like a faded ring, and it's barely faded out. You can tell like you've been working on this ringworm for years. Okay? This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. So now you all know what it is. This is also called patriarchal domination. All right? Where so through enslavement and mind control programming continues to divide and conquer the human population on Earth. This is a self-enforcing system of mind control promoted through all world organizations to shape ideologies and values based on the archaic deception behaviors of the predator mind of the negative aliens. Those humans that feed the false king of tyranny are rewarded with money or with status or with power or with fame over the rest of the underlings on Earth. The Orion group created the hierarchical controller system that operates behind every world power or pillar of society. They use technological mind control, suppressor parasites, and SPE, and have downloaded their predator mind to the people of the Earth through invasion of planetary logos in order to enslave and dominate in the direction of humans, human being affairs on Earth. Now, the power elites or cabal. The power elite or cabal. The power elite are a small group of people who conjure black magic through dark rituals that are used for maintaining contact with the archons in order to control the entire planet through the manipulation of the collective consciousness through fear-based programming that is transmitted via mind control to reinforce the fear programming and keep the population in a vibration of fear and separation. They organize a complex system of global institutions to act as the primary enforcement enforcer of the propagation of the disinformation that they use to influence people to self-enforce the belief system that shape the narrative of the third dimensional reality. Like when they told y'all to use ivermectin and methylene blue and zeolite, when they would never give you the cure. Okay, they provided the biochemical terrorism. So they would never ever give you the cure because that's a parasite. They have to put the parasite in your body. All right. So, I mean, it was crazy, the disinformation that was going around that, oh, now the new one is going to be nicotine. So they're going to have everybody smoking nicotine, which nicotine is not, the nicotine is tainted. It is tainted. And they're going to get all the people. Remember, they did the COVID the first time. And if you all smoke tobacco and nicotine, literally people never got COVID, right? And so now they ran that narrative. That psyop went great. So now everybody's going to be literally smoking again. Tobacco. And remember, tobacco was really popular in the 1950s, 1960s, 1970s. Your doctor would recommend you a cigarette, right? But you got to understand, the original tobacco is mullein leaf. That's what you're supposed to be smoking. But people with type O blood is allergic to mullein leaf. Okay, you're gonna break out in hives. You're gonna get itchy. You're gonna I tried mullein leaf a lot, but it breaks me out every time. And I'm universal. So I already know. I can feel it in my blood which herbs work for me and which herbs don't. They've already tainted the herbs. That's weird. They've already tainted the herbs. These fools is not going to give you a cure. Okay? Nothing is pure. We want shit to be pure. We want this shit to be organic. We want this shit to be without herbicides, pesticides, insecticides, fungicide. We want all of this stuff to be free of that side. But your government is not having it. These boys is not having it. They're taking us through there, and that's sad. Now, the patriarchal domination. Patriarchal domination is enforced in a variety of ways through abuses of alpha male power to control women and those ranked lower on the social or religious classification system through fear and intimidation. Females can also embody misogyny and patriarchal domination through their shaped belief systems and learned behaviors. A female that rises in the ranks of a corporate ladder can also adopt patriarchal domination behaviors in order to be successful. These are these male-centered bitches, okay? And that's why domestic violence is really high, because it comes through patriarchal domination. I don't know what the fuck it is, but men have always hit women since the beginning of time. And even in the Bible, it says that men are allowed to hit women. And that's how you know that book is so fucking bogus. It's domestic abuse. No. No, let's talk about it. The Bible is so fucking fucked up that it says it's okay to hit your wife, your bride, your woman. No, it's never okay. It's never okay to hit anybody else. That's why that book is bullshit. In the book, God don't even like women. God said women are not fit enough to be an evangelist. You can't even be an evangelist. You can't even be a pastor if you're a woman. And then they also said a woman can't even learn properly. You have to learn through your husband. Man, get the fuck out of here. There's nowhere in the world you can buy a book that says that bullshit. Nowhere in the world. So that's why Hillary Rodham Clinton was doing frazzle drip, because she's the perfect example of this fucking female right here. Okay? Or Pam Bondi. Perfect fucking Pam Bondi. Erica Kirk. What's her name? The press secretary. All of them women, male-centered. Those are those bitches. Okay, they're living in that patriarchal domination behaviors in order to be successful. This is learned skill that is promoted in a variety of ways or is mimicked from boys watching their fathers or male authority figures to enforce the archontic deception strategy and promote misogyny to continue the cycle of rejection in the inner female or outright abuse of women or girls. That's why, like Pam Bondi, Erica Kirk, all of these women, they are handlers. They are madams. And they treat these young girls like prostitutes. That's all it is. Or like Jocelyn and Natalie Nunn. All of those are madams. They are handlers. They are handlers for young girls to reject inner female, their inner self, their divine femininity, and then to abuse the woman within them, to have that Lilith devil energy. Okay? This is a primary strategy of programming humans in the mind control archontic deception behavior that originates from the Orion group reptoids. Strategies of exerting power and control through misogyny exist at every level of society, starting as domestic violence and forms of abuse, which shape core values and the way humans are programmed to think. To better grasp how these archons of the false king of tyranny operate to abuse power systems on the earth, please see the domestic abuse chart. Dang, I was trying to click on it. Shaping of the world organizations. So there are 5 pillars of the main structures that use anti-human control, which influence all planetary affairs. These pillars of society are manipulated to shape all of the world organizations through the agenda of controlled and enforced by the power elite classes. So you have power elites or controller, then you have the military industrial, then you have the intelligence agencies, and then you have the covert groups, and then you have the government, and then you have religious, academic, financial, and medical. Then you have the control media, and then you have the press. And choosing one of the main pillars of society, religious, academic, financial, we can see how even though these 3 areas of belief systems feel completely separate and opposed from each other, in reality, they are not. They are used interchangeably to appear in a diametric opposition to the onlooker, but that is not how they actually work. This is why everybody goes missing, because of this class, this world organization, this agenda right here is why everybody go missing. This is why everybody is poisoned. This is why everybody is sick. This is why everybody is homeless. This is why everybody is getting no taxation without representation. This group right here. This hierarchy right here. This is hell. You have to understand, Earth is hell. I'm not making this up. Hold on. Let me show you something. All right. All right. Satan, who is the god of this world, has blinded the minds of those who don't believe. Okay? They are unable to see the glorious light of the good news. What good news? We're in hell, my nigga. There is no such thing as no good news. Satan is the god of this world. Do you know God can come to this world? God cannot come to this world. Please listen. Listen to me. Watch this. The question of why God can't come to this world is complex and can be viewed from various perspectives. Divine purpose. God created the earth for a purpose, and it is where he makes himself known to humanity. God has appeared to individuals throughout history. Only individuals? Suffering and existence. The existence of suffering in the world is often seen as a challenge to faith, but it's believed that God's presence and purpose are evident in the world's challenges. Now, hold on. When we go back and look at the God of suffering, do you know who the God of suffering is? You're going to be very pissed when you find out who the God of suffering is. Oh, hold on. Yes, Yaldabaoth, the god of suffering. Yaldabaoth is often associated with suffering in the material world, as he is seen as the creator of the material verse and the source of suffering. His arrogance and ignorance are reflected in his belief that he is the highest god despite being a flawed creation. Gnostic texts describe him as a demiurge who rules the material cosmos while falsely claiming to be the highest god, contrasting with the hidden transcendent source beyond him. Yaldabaoth's character reserves a mystic solution to the problem of evil and suffering in the world, believed to be grounded in transcendent goodness. Please wake the fuck up. You live in hell, fool. That's why this world is so horrible. It's so horrible. So no, God can't come to this world. You know why? Suffering and existence. The existence of suffering in the world is often seen as a challenge of faith. Of faith. But it's believed that God's presence and purpose are evident in the world's challenge. Patience and timing. God's timing for his return is seen as a way to give humanity time to repent and return to him. No, that's so not true. That's horrible. God is saying he's not coming back until everyone bows down to him. That's horrible, my friend. No, no, thank you. I don't want to be in your cult. No. God cannot come to earth. This domain belongs to Yaldabaoth, to Satan. I don't know how many times I got to tell you this. Your God, if you serve the God of this world, you serve Satan. Jesus is Jesus' morning star, the son of Satan. Wake your dumb ass up, okay? The God of this world, the God of this 100 Bible verses about Satan, the God of this world. What world are y'all living in? We're living in the third dimension. If you're on the third dimension, there's 100 Bible verses about Satan, who is the God of this world. You have been fooled for years. And listen, the God of this world said he sent his only begotten son, so his son is Jesus, fool. Anyway, I'm just tired of going back and forth with y'all. You are your father, the devil. John 8:44. You are of your father, the devil, and your will is to do your father's desires. He was a murderer from the beginning and does not stand in truth because there is no truth in him. When he lies, he speaks out of his own character, for he is a liar and the father of lies. 2 Corinthians 4:4. In their case, the God of this world has blinded the minds of the unbelievers to keep them from seeing the light of the gospel of the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. If the God of this world is the image of God, oh my God, there you go. It's a loop. It's a loop. John 12:31. Now is the judgment of this world. Now will the ruler of this world be cast out. This is his world. You cannot cast him out of his world. And the great dragon was thrown down, that ancient serpent who is called the devil and Satan, and the deceiver of the whole world. He was thrown down to the earth, and his angels was thrown down with him, thrown down to earth. He was thrown down to earth. He was thrown down to earth. If you are in a religion on this planet, you are worshiping Satan. I'm not rocking with you. I'm just not. Fuck out of my fucking face. Okay? Be sober-minded. Be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion seeking someone to devour. Now, listen, who loves the lions the most? Donald Trump, right? He walks around like a roaring lion. Now you got all these clues about who this character is on Earth. Why are you following this bullshit? Why? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Because when I look up the lion, when I look up this fucking lion and demonology, you know what's gonna pop up? Marbus is a great president of hell, and the Eres Goetia, commanding 36 legions of demons, and known for his powers of healing, transformation, and revealing hidden knowledge. Okay? Marbus is described as a great president of hell, a high-ranked demon in the infernal hierarchy. There's that word again, hierarchy, commanding 36 legions of spirits. He is one of the 72 spirits listed in the Eres Goetia, part of the Lesser Key of Solomon, a seminal grimoire in the Western occult tradition. His title of president signifies authority, leadership, and dominion over other demonic entities. Now, let me tell you something about these fucking humans. I hate them. I hate humans. I don't know what it is. Something is wrong with them. They're defective, and I think they're demons. I think they're demons. And these are mortals. Where I myself, I'm an immortal. I see immortals, I see gods, and I see goddesses, and I see beautiful gods and goddesses. But with these mortals, I think they're fucking demons. These kings and queens, they're mortals. Don't fuck with them. Now, the fact when we look up the lion, he's President Marbus. He's the demon. He's the master. He's the president of hell. He lurks as a master of deception, disease, and hidden malice. Remember, Donald Trump said he's the father of pains. Wake the fuck up. Marbus, Dark Temple, known as the President of Hell, who commands 36 legions of demons. Marbus is revered not only for his abilities to reveal secrets, insights, but for his power to heal and then make people sick. Wake up. Marbus, in Hebrew, is a goetic demon. It is the fifth spirit of the 72 demons summoned by King Solomon, according to the Lesser Key of Solomon, the hierarchy. Okay? Please wake up. Marbus, working with the goetic demon of healing. As president, Marbus is governed by Mercury, ruler of intellect, medicine, speech, and sacred architecture. His element, okay? Marbus, a.k.a. Barbus. Rank is a president. Strongest is mid-April. Summon him during the daytime with yellow candles, tin, and fire and chuckery. Okay? In the ranks of demons, president does not mean the leader of a nation as most commonly used today. Rather, each demon president is a leader of a social, educational, or political group. In the case of Marbus, The title of president refers to his role as the head of the schools of the mechanics and engineering. Many of the 72 goetic demons teach something, but Marbus, also known as the name Barbus, is one of the few who are focused strictly on mechanical engineering and his subordinate teachings. Those who summon him may be imparted great wisdom of a technical nature, as it is believed that his knowledge of the subject far exceeds the most brilliant technical minds of humankind. One might expect such a scientific mind to be limited by scientific pursuits, but Marbus is far more than just a scientist. He will answer truthfully to questions asked about the secrets of others, and has been known to heal diseases upon request, as well as cause diseases. He will cause them as well. The demon president, who also has a highly sought after ability that few other demons share, he can cause humans to shapeshift into other forms. Wake up. This is fucking hell. And y'all think this shit is cute. This shit is not cute. Why are y'all like this? Why are y'all like this? Marbus first appears to the summoner in his demon form, which is that of a large, ferocious lion. But he will change shape into his human form if requested. Those who have summoned him have reported that he is average height with brown eyes and black hair. Okay? But here's the thing. I think they done reworked this internet because they're trying to make him seem like, hey, he's a cool guy. He's a cool guy. You see how they try to say, president doesn't mean the leader of a nation as is most commonly used today. Yes, the fuck it does. Yes, it does. Please stop. Please stop it. Anyway, he's walking around in pure form. Look, he has the caduceus in his hand. He's the father of bang. Please wake up. Please wake up. Please wake up. And did you know, even nobody studies demonology. For everything on this earth, there's a demon. Even when did you know when you poop, you can summon a demon as well? It's crazy. I kid you. I'm not making this shit up. Listen, I'm not making this crap up. Watch this. Yep. The Golgothan. The Golgothan, also known as the excremental shit demon and the poop demon, is a foul and malicious demon from the 1999 dark comedy movie Dogma. He is entirely composed of excrement from all who were crucified at Golgotha and the site of Christ's crucifixion. The Golgothian is most feared as the elite assassin in all of hell, and his body is slimy mass of dripping dung, and he's known for his foul language and his ability to project waves of excrement at opponents. The Golgothian's appearance is a result of bodily waste of the crucified at the Golgotha, making it not just any sewer sludge, but biblically cursed sewer sludge. Yeah. A shit demon. Okay? There's a demon. That's why when you're taking a shit, you're like, oh God, get it out of me. Yeah, that's a that's an exorcism. You're having an exorcism when you take a shit. Yeah, so be careful. Like, that's why some shits are so massive, and so you be like, whoa, look at this. Somebody come see this. You're actually summoning a goddamn excremental demon. Okay? I cannot make this shit up. Anyway, like I said, nobody reads the demonology. And everybody should read the demonology more. Y'all should read the demonology more. Anyway. I just want y'all to know this is why we're going through all of this suffering for no reason, okay? We're going through all of this bullshit because we're in hell. They're not gonna let us out of hell. I don't know how to tell you this, but they're not gonna, either you gotta break us out of hell or you gotta cast out the ruler of hell. Does that make sense? Okay. And how do I get back to my freaking... How do I get back to where I was? Oh no, I lost my freaking... I lost my lessons. Yeah, I lost my lessons. What the fuck did I do with them? Oh, bitch. Well, I lost my damn lesson. I always got good memory, and I always remember how to get back home. I love that. I really, really love that for me. All right, death culture and what it's gonna be. Yeah, say chop style, chop style, chop style, chop. She won't chop. Anyway, anti-soul agenda. Okay, I'm backtracking. All right, we are here. And then we clicked on controllers. Oh, we clicked on controllers. Power Elite. Power Elite. And then we clicked on False Kings of Tyranny. Got there. Power Elite of the Cabal. We got there. Who was a famous PDFer and Satanist, literally put together. Okay? So they're promoting disinformation and suppression of accurate knowledge within the hard sciences of academia, inventions, and advanced technologies, with the exception of those that are approved to promote the death culture and objectives. And then consistently control the mass perception of reality to be created in terrorism, cataclysm, pestilence, fear programming that is carried out through the beliefs held in the biblical revelations, through an artificial mind control program known as Armageddon software, which is created by Aleister Crowley, who's a famous PDFer and Satanist. That's why they pull his penis so hard. Armageddon programs are designed to trigger subconscious memories in the collective consciousness of previously hidden timelines of traumatic devastations that was caused by the negative alien archons, such as the warring events that took place during the Luciferian rebellion and the Atlantean cataclysm. This keeps people in the constant state of survival and poverty consciousness and unable to develop the personal strength required to cultivate self-determination and personal sovereignty. The use of inverted systems in the non-profit organization and religious institutions that are set up as storefronts used for the international money laundering or criminal activities under the guises of humanitarian causes or charities, when the funds are collected for the express purposes to continue to enforce human misery and human suffering. Now, they bring in the transhumanism and the transgenderism are used to further promote the death culture intended agenda to destroy the heart and soul and the compassionate and empathetic divine human being through the intended annihilation of the true essence of both the masculine and feminine, in order to disrupt and destroy the unifying potential of the androgynous light body in the DNA in the human being. The first directive would be to attack the inner and outer gender principle in ways possible. That's why they confuse you and they tell you, oh, you can identify as a TV. Oh, you can identify as a boy when you're really a girl. Please stop. That is the demon of confusion. That is the demon of confusion, the spirit of confusion. Sit it the fuck down. Stop possessing yourself. Anyway, it destroys the heart and soul and the compassionate, empathetic, divine human being through the intended annihilation of the true essence of both the masculine and feminine body. That's why you cannot be transgender, because your paternal mother is in you and your fraternal father is in you. Okay? You can't add two more transgenders. Okay? You already got your set of your grandparents in there. You got so many people already in your shit that you can't put any more spirits in your body that are not supposed to be there. Okay? In order to disrupt or destroy the unifying potential of the androgynous light body in the DNA of the human being, the first directive would be to attack the inner and outer gender principle in all ways possible. The negative alien archon promote counterfeit creations through inciting confusion in the death process, obliterate the knowledge of the light body and the soul, spin confusion in sexual conduct and concepts of marriage and children. And that's why they got this alpha program going where they're like, where the men say, oh, we know our worth, and asking women what do they bring to the table. That's craziness. That's craziness. Men are literally supposed to protect and provide the divine feminine, the creator. Okay? The woman is the portal. The man is not the portal. Okay? The negative alien archon promote counterfeit creations through inciting confusion in the death process, obliterate the knowledge of the light body and the soul, spin confusion in sexual conduct, concepts of marriage and children, instill gender confusion in expected roles, and then start to blend human bodies with animals and machines. Child abuse and child sacrifice is the archontic deception strategy of the negative alien agenda. The negative alien agenda Satanists prefer to use children as targets in order to harvest negative emotional energy or loosh as a result. So child abuse, child sex slavery, child porn, child organ harvesting, child sacrifice are immensely profitable for those in the criminal network. And this is why the Epstein Files are so important, because the higher ups are doing this to children. They're not human. They are archons. Okay? The mind control used for gender reversal distortions and the most traumatizing for painful memories existing between men and women being forced to abuse each other over and over and over. These gender distortions have been used to propagate some of the deepest levels of spiritual abuse, sexual misery, and personal torture that could occur to race of beings in true spiritual marriage as a part of natural, biological, spiritual ascension was stolen from humanity through the negative alien archon alien evasion. And the pain of that theft and the emotional abuse has damaged many people's hearts. Now, human trafficking. Human trafficking is the sale of barter for humans into slavery by other humans and non-humans. This is a massive epidemic on planet Earth, and it also exists off planet and is referred to as galactic human slavery. Generally, a person is culled for certain purposes and then abducted, captured from their families, and sold or bartered for many purposes, including manual slave labor, sex trade, engineering, manufacturing. The person is the mind-controlled under a system of threats, intimidation, torture to remain compliant and submissive to the acts that they are forced to perform for their handlers, who may be human or non-human entities in poverty-stricken third world countries, or during mass migration of refugees. Children are grabbed from inattentive parents or offered a few $100s to take their child. And this level of human trafficking brings in many hundreds of thousands of people per year into the slave trade, both on and off this planet. Okay? That's why they keep talking about, hey, ICE is literally taking all these kids. young boys were detained by ICE. How communities provide safe passage for school kids amid ICE. ICE agents are detaining kids. This is exactly what's going on. They've been trying to tell you, hey, y'all, this is what these fools are doing. For real, for real. Okay? So child abuse and child sacrifices is the archonic deception strategy of the negative alien archons. The negative alien archons and Satanists prefer to use children as targets in order to harness negative emotional energy or loosh as a result of child abuse, child sex slavery, child porn, child organ harvesting, and child sacrifice are immensely profitable for those in a criminal network. The mind control used for gender reversal distortions are the most traumatizing from painful memories existing between men and women being forced to abuse each other over and over and over. These gender distortions have been used to propagate some of the deepest levels of spiritual abuse, sexual misery, and personal torture that could occur to a race of beings. True spiritual marriage, as part of a natural biological spiritual ascension, was stolen from the humanity through the alien invasion. And pain and the theft of that emotional abuse has damaged many people's hearts. That's why human trafficking is very big. Okay? Human trafficking is the sale on the barter for humans into slavery by other humans and non-humans. This is a massive epidemic on planet Earth, and it also exists off planet Earth and is referred to as galactic human slavery. Generally, a person is culled for certain purposes and then abducted, captured from their families, and sold or bartered for many purposes, including manual slave labor, sex trade, engineering, and manufacturing. This person is mind controlled under a system of threats, intimidation, and torture to remain compliant and submissive to the acts that are forced to perform for the handlers, who may be human or non-human entities. In poverty-stricken third world countries, during mass migration of refugees, children are grabbed from inattentive parents and are offered a few $100s to take their child. That's why I don't trust these people. I don't trust these parents when their children go missing, because how the fuck your kid go missing and they at school? That's why the teachers are helping the children go missing. That's why the police officers, the doctors, the nurses, the principals, the preachers, the pastors, the EMTs, the firefighters, the vets, the politicians, the governments, the entertainers, the celebrities, the sports people, all these adults are helping these children go missing. Straight the fuck up. Stop playing. Stop playing. It's called galactic human slavery, baby. All right. Currently, the world slavery system is used to parasitize soul energy, but also to superimpose karmic exchanges on the masses, and is an important reason that the negative alien agenda fights so hard to retain their control and access over Earth and the trafficking of its inhabitants. It is estimated that at least 8 million children worldwide go missing each year. And actually, 3,500 children go missing every day. So every day you're supposed to get an Amber Alert for 3,500 kids. And we don't. That's how you know the government is in on it. It is estimated that at least 8 million children worldwide go missing each year. It is estimated that nearly 800,000 children will be reported missing each year. In the United States, 40,000 children go missing each year. In Brazil, 50,500 children. In Canada, 39,000. In France, 100,000. In Germany, 45,000. In Mexico, 45,000. And an estimated 230,000 children go missing in the United Kingdom each year, or one child every 5 minutes. So every 5 minutes, a child goes missing. Okay? Ask yourself the question, who is benefiting from the enslavement of human beings on the planet Earth? Who is benefiting by having sex with our children? And that's why the Epstein Files are important. Every action you take to educate yourself, any action that is taken to help educate others in these topics, no matter how small, helps to bring an end to slavery and human suffering from servitude. Together, if we can understand what is happening on earth and open our eyes to actually see this is hidden agendas of Satanism, Luciferianism across all paths, we can unite to end human slavery for the future generations. And this is the true purpose of the Guardian Host Christos mission, to support planetary ascension and the liberation of humanity from its oppressors. And that is why the Epstein Files are so important, because you're not on earth, bitch, you're in hell. This has been another edition of What You Meme News. I'm hearing crystal clear. And I just explained to you why your world is so evil. I'm out.